God always delivers on his promise. Now, here's a story. You may have heard it before. The story of Jericho. If you haven't heard it, here's the quick summary of it. Joshua, he's now being told, because Moses is gone, hey, you're going to take the Israelites into the promised land. So they crossed the Red Sea. That was a miracle even right there. And they're going in to the promised land, but we have a problem. The very first thing they come up to is a city called Jericho. And these Jericho people, well, they heard about everything that God was doing with them, and they didn't want anything to do with it, so they shut up their city. They had already built a huge wall around the city. It says so big that they could actually put chariots around it so they could race around. That's a huge city. And they had locked those iron gates, and there was no way that all these massive Israelites could get through. They had to go through the problem. They had to go through an impossible seemingly situation. I'm sure you've never faced an impossible situation. You never faced a wall like Jericho in your life. Well, here it is. So Joshua is like, well, what do I do? What do I do? He's confronted with an angel called the commander of the Lord's army with this huge sword and says, hey, I got a plan from God. And he tells Joshua what they're doing. Now, here's the plan. Okay, what you do, you need to take 7 trumpets, priests with 7 trumpets, and you're going to go around the city one time. They're going to blow their horns, but everybody else is going to follow. They're going to keep quiet. You're going to do this 6 days in a row. And on the 7th day, you're going to do pretty much the same thing, but on the 7th time, this time we're going to blow on the 7th time around, and all the Israelites are going to scream and yell. And guess what? That's going to be how you're going to get through. Really? That's your plan. That's the big plan. Well, Joshua was just crazy enough to do it, and it worked. It worked. The 7th time went around, they start screaming and yelling, and the walls crumbled to dust, and, which, by the way, we actually think we have historical evidence for that very thing. So that's another side note. And they were able to go in, and they were to take the city. And they were able to go through what was impossible. God gave them a plan, though it didn't seem like it even made sense. When they followed through with the plan, get this, when they followed through with the plan, they saw massive victory. So, let's see. God gave them a promise. We're going to go to a promised land full of milk and honey. They've run into an impossible situation, the city of Jericho, in which, in human terms, Joshua had no way of getting through it. It was impossible. He sought the Lord. He took time, and then God answered him. And then when God gave him the answer, though it didn't make sense, he executed on that plan, and the plan worked and gave them a phenomenally great victory. You want great victories in your life? You probably have to do something crazy. Listen to God and actually execute on God's plan. Nothing is impossible. See, look, if you're facing an impossible situation, maybe you're facing a Jericho situation in your life. You're like, man, these walls are huge. I mean, like, they're huge. They can run chariots up top. Crazy huge, right? Yeah, crazy time. Maybe you're there. I'm telling you. Once you've exhausted yourself like Joshua, you look around and can't figure it out, seek the Lord. Seek his plan. And then once you got the plan, execute it, even if it doesn't make much sense. And I believe you can see a great miracle. I look forward to hearing about some of those. Till next time.